Listen carefully. Pain doesn't knock. It doesn't wait for permission. It simply shows up. And when that pain comes from her, it cuts deeper than anything else because you opened yourself to her. You trusted her. You let her inside your world, and she used that access against you. Now you're standing here trying to understand what comes next, trying to make sense of the damage. Before we go any further, subscribe to this channel. What I'm about to say isn't comfortable, but it's honest. And you need honesty right now. Hit that button, stay with me. Let's talk about this the right way. Here's the first truth you need to accept. She hurt you. That's a fact. There's no way around it. But what most men fail to understand is this: the pain itself isn't the real problem. What matters is what you do with that pain. Most men try to bury it. They pretend they're fine. They distract themselves, act strong, act unbothered. But that's not strength. That's avoidance. Real strength is allowing yourself to feel the pain, acknowledging the wound, and then deciding what comes next from a place of self-respect, not anger, not revenge. When a woman hurts you, it reveals something important, not only about her, but about you. It shows you where you ignored red flags, where you compromised your standards, where you gave more than you should have. This isn't about blaming yourself, it's about learning, because patterns repeat until you become aware of them. And if you don't learn the lesson now, you'll find yourself in the same situation again, just with a different face. Let me tell you what doesn't work. Begging her to understand, explaining your pain again and again, hoping one day she'll suddenly care. She won't. Not necessarily because she's a bad person, but because people show you who they are through their actions. And when someone shows you they're willing to hurt you, you need to believe them the first time. Not the third, not the fifth, the first time. Most men stay because they think love is about endurance. They believe love means suffering quietly, proving loyalty through pain. But love isn't supposed to break you down. Love is meant to build you. If being with her is slowly destroying you, that isn't love. That's attachment. And attachment will ruin you if you let it. It keeps you stuck, going back to the same person, hoping for a different outcome. But hope without action is just denial. You already know what she's capable of. She showed you, so ask yourself honestly, why are you still waiting for her to change? Here's a truth that hurts, but you need to hear it. She's not thinking about you the way you're thinking about her. While you're replaying conversations, analyzing every moment, wondering what you could have done differently, she's either moved on or focused on her own world. And I know that stings, but it matters because the version of her you're holding on to isn't real. You're attached to who she could have been, not who she actually is. And that gap between reality and potential will destroy you if you live in it too long. That's why moving on doesn't mean hating her. It doesn't mean revenge. It doesn't mean proving anything. Moving on means choosing yourself every single day, especially on the hard days, and especially late at night when the loneliness hits and your mind starts reaching for memories. You choose yourself because no one else will do it for you. Not her, not your friends, not your family, just you. And that choice becomes the foundation of your peace, your future, and your self-respect. When you don't choose yourself, you drift. You react instead of lead. You let circumstances and emotions decide your direction. But when you choose yourself, you take control. You stop being a victim of what happened and start becoming the architect of what comes next. That shift changes everything. Now let's talk about closure, because this is where many men get stuck. You want her to admit what she did. You want an apology. You want her to acknowledge your pain. But here's the reality. Closure is a myth. You're never going to get the conversation you're imagining. She doesn't see the situation the way you do, and waiting for her to validate your feelings only keeps her in control of your healing. You don't need her permission to move on. You don't need her understanding. You close the door yourself. You decide it's over. You decide you're done. And you walk away. Not because she changed, but because you did. If you don't do this, you stay stuck in limbo. Half in, half out, checking her social media, wondering who she's with, hoping she'll come back. And every time you do that, you reopen the wound. You're choosing pain over progress, and you deserve better than that. You deserve a life where you're not constantly triggered, not waiting for someone else to decide your worth, not living in emotional chaos. Now let's talk honestly about female psychology, because misunderstanding this is where many men lose themselves. Women are emotional by nature. That's not an insult. It's simply how they're wired. They feel deeply, and many of their decisions are driven by emotion in the moment, not long-term logic, not promises, but how they feel right now. So when she hurt you, it wasn't because she calculated the damage. She acted based on emotion. And emotions change. They rise, they fall, they shift. That's why you can't build your life around them. Not hers, and honestly not even your own. What you need instead is something solid. Principles, values, A commitment to yourself that doesn't collapse when emotions run high, because feelings will tell you to go back, to forgive too quickly, to accept less than you deserve. But your principles will keep you grounded. They remind you who you are when your emotions try to confuse you. Self-respect isn't something you talk about. It's something you show through your actions, your boundaries, and your choices. When a woman crosses a line, self-respect requires a response. Not anger, not drama, just a clear boundary. This is not acceptable, and I will not tolerate it. Most men avoid setting boundaries because they're afraid of losing her. But the truth is, you already lost her the moment she chose to hurt you. What you're really afraid of is being alone. And that fear will make you accept things you shouldn't. It'll make you apologize when you did nothing wrong. It'll keep you in situations that slowly drain you. But loneliness is temporary. Losing yourself is permanent. Let's talk about attraction, because this is where many men get confused. They think being nice, patient, and understanding will make her stay. But attraction doesn't work like that. Attraction is built on polarity, masculine and feminine energy. When you constantly accommodate, when you abandon your values to keep her comfortable, you lose polarity. You become predictable, safe, neutral, and she stops seeing you as a man. She sees you as someone she can lean on. Or worse, someone she can walk over. This doesn't mean being cold or cruel. It means standing firm in who you are. You have a mission, a direction, a purpose. She can walk beside you or walk away, but you don't abandon your path for anyone. That's attractive because it's authentic. It's a man who knows himself and doesn't compromise his core for temporary comfort. Here's something most men don't realize until it's too late. When you tolerate disrespect, you teach her how to treat you. You show her that your boundaries are flexible, that your words don't carry weight, and she'll keep pushing. Not always because she's malicious, but because she's testing. Women test men. It's how they find out if you're solid, if you can handle pressure, if you truly mean what you say. Every time you fail that test, her respect for you fades a little more. So when she hurts you and you take her back without consequences, you fail the test. You show her that your boundaries are empty. And once you've shown her that, she will hurt you again, because you've proven you'll accept it. This isn't about punishment or playing games, it's about honoring yourself. Walking away from situations that don't serve you, even when it hurts. Especially when it hurts, because the pain of walking away fades. The regret of staying too long does not. Now let's talk about what happens after you walk away. The days and weeks that follow will be difficult. You'll question yourself, you'll wonder if you made the right choice, you'll remember the good moments and forget the reasons you left. That's normal. Your brain is wired to seek comfort, and going back feels easier than moving forward. But easy isn't always right, and comfort isn't always healthy. You need to sit with the discomfort, feel the loneliness, face the emptiness. Because on the other side of that pain is growth, real growth. The kind that reshapes who you are and prepares you for something better. This is the phase most men try to escape, but it's the phase that changes everything. Instead of thinking about her, start building yourself. Physically, mentally, financially, spiritually. Become the man you know you're capable of being, not to get her back, not to make her regret leaving, but because you owe it to yourself. You've wasted enough energy on someone who didn't value it. Now it's time to redirect that energy into your purpose, your mission, your future. Go to the gym. Not just to change your body, but to rebuild your mind. Physical discipline creates mental strength, and right now, you need that strength. Read real books, not empty motivation, but real knowledge. Psychology, philosophy, history. Learn how people think, learn how you think. Build your career, pour your energy into your work. Create something valuable, something that lasts, because people come and go. But what you build stays with you forever. Here's the irony most men don't see coming. When you stop chasing her and start building yourself, you become more attractive, not just to her, but to everyone. Because desperation disappears, neediness fades, you become focused, grounded, and driven. And by the time you reach that level, you won't even want her back. You'll see clearly, without emotional fog. And you'll realize something important. She was never the prize. You were. The women who come after this phase will be different, because you are different. You won't tolerate the same disrespect. You won't ignore the same red flags. You won't sacrifice your peace. That alone filters out the wrong ones. And the right woman will see your strength. She'll respect it because she's looking for a man, not a project. But even if no one comes, you'll still be fine. Because you've learned the most important lesson of all. You don't need anyone to complete you. You are already whole, already enough, already worthy. That's not arrogance. That's truth. Remember this. Pain is temporary. Lessons are permanent. She taught you something. Don't waste it. Don't let that pain be meaningless. Use it. Let it sharpen you. Let it shape you. Let it turn you into the man you're meant to become. You're not defined by what happened to you. You're defined by how you respond. Right now you have a choice. Stay stuck in the past, replaying what went wrong, hoping for a different outcome. Or move forward into the unknown, into your potential, into your power. I know which one I'm choosing, and I think you do too. So let her go. Not with hatred, not with bitterness, but with gratitude. for the lesson, for the strength, for the clarity. Walk away with your head up, shoulders back, eyes forward. Your future is waiting, and it's better than anything you left behind. You're not running from her, you're running toward yourself. And that's the most important journey you'll ever take. Choose yourself, honor yourself, build yourself, and one day you'll look back at this moment and be grateful. Not for the pain, but for the man it created. Now go become that man. You've got this. And if this message hit you the way I think it did, subscribe to this channel. We're just getting started, and you're going to need this kind of truth as you build the life you deserve. Stay strong.